I chased Lin Yuan for 15 years, he never looked my way. Everyone said I was obsessed and begged me to let go. I finally released my obsession with him when I saw him with another girl. But on my 27th birthday, he passed away. His colleague told me the person he loved had always been me. During my first New Year abroad as an international student, I returned home to find Lin Yuan. It had been exactly a year since we broke up before I left the country. Before my flight back, I sent him a message saying I was on my way to see him. It wasn't until the plane landed on Chinese soil that I received his reply. 5 icy words. I don't want to see you. The weather in late December was bitter, with biting wind whipping sleet against my face. I told myself, it's okay. Once we meet face to face, it'll be fine. But in temperatures well below zero, in sleeting weather, I waited from dusk till late night outside Lin Yuan's apartment building. He never replied with another word. I saw on his social media a photo he posted, the location tagged at a bar. When I dragged my frozen body there, I found him impeccably dressed in a suit, his arm around a woman in a sexy outfit, laughing with a captivating charm. Facing me, who had traveled so far, arriving travel-worn and weary, he gave me an utterly contemptuous once-over before turning to the jealous, alluring woman beside him and saying, I don't know her. I waited for him outside the bar, but encountered a group of drunkards. They dragged me into an alley and were tearing at my clothes when, across the street, I saw Lin Yuan helping that woman into a car. His eyes were hazy with drink, his posture intimate. That New Year's Eve, with countless homes lit up and festivities everywhere, I experienced the darkest moment of my life in that alley. If patrolling police officers hadn't come across us, I might have made the headlines of the social news the next day as a victim. Sitting in the police station, my hands trembling, I sent Lin Yuan a message, only to discover he had blocked me. My name is Mu Xianyu, and I am a veteran face appreciator. The first time I saw Lin Yuan at age 12, I was utterly bewitched by his exquisite little face. From then on, I became his little follower, trailing behind him. This lasted for 15 years. Lin Yuan moved to our alleyway during the summer before I started junior high. At 12, the boy's frame hadn't fully developed, but his features were strikingly handsome peach blossom eyes, a mole beneath them, carrying an innate cool aloofness. He stood with his mother in front of a truck full of belongings, looking down at me with a cold expression as I lay sprawled on the ground crying. Half a minute earlier, I had been chasing after a friend while holding an ice cream, tripped and fell, and my ice pop had flown out of my hand. Seeing it on the ground, a wave of sorrow overcame me, and I immediately started wailing. Lin Yuan's mother was a great beauty with long wavy hair, dressed in a classic cheongsam. She helped me up, gently brushed the dust off my clothes, and took me to the small shop at the alley entrance to buy a new ice pop. They were saltwater ice pops made by a local workshop. Some white, some brown sugar-colored. The brown ones topped with soft, glutinous red beans. I took a red bean one and picked out a white one for Lin Yuan. When I offered the ice pop to Lin Yuan with an eager-to-please gesture, he frowned prettily. I don't eat this stuff. Back then, I didn't know there was an ice cream called Häagen-Dazs in the world. I just thought Lin Yuan's refusal to eat an ice pop seemed incredibly mature and charming. Darn it, that damn charm of a mature man on him. Lin Yuan had moved from a big city and would attend the same junior high as me after summer break. His mother had been the city's top scorer in liberal arts in her year. After going off to university, she married a very successful businessman. She was gentle, beautiful, smart, and intelligent. Lin Yuan's maternal grandmother lived in the small house at the end of the alley. Because I often greeted her when she sunned herself at the door, Granny Lin liked me a lot. On Lin Yuan's first day there, I went over with 2 large pairs to visit. Both his mother and grandmother warmly invited me to stay for dinner. Of course, I didn't refuse. As I was leaving, Lin Yuan's mother said to me, Little Xianyu, I'll have to trouble you to look after our Zhao Yuan from now on. So, on the day his mother left, when Lin Yuan chased after the car, crying so pitifully it broke my heart, I grabbed his hand and used my little handkerchief to wipe his tears. Don't be sad. I'll take care of you from now on. But Lin Yuan pushed me away angrily, shouting, I don't need you to care. He pushed me to the ground, but I wasn't upset. It was normal for him to throw a little tantrum after his mother left him. What did that mean? It meant he was filial. Filial piety is the foremost of all virtues. Lin Yuan was such a good man. After school started, Lin Yuan and I attended the same junior high, and, quite coincidentally, were placed in the same class. On the first day, seats were assigned by choice. Although Lin Yuan wasn't sociable, kids in 7th grade already had a sense of aesthetics. While I wasn't paying attention, a few girls had already subtly tried to cozy up to him. Seeing this, I panicked and quickly ran over to sit next to Lin Yuan. "Move aside, everyone. Move aside. This seat is mine." Lin Yuan still wore his usual deadpan expression, but he didn't shoo me away. So I sat down content. But the very next day after I sat down, the homeroom teacher made me change seats. The reason? I was too tall and sitting in the front would block the students behind. Looking at Lin Yuan, who wasn't even 1.4 meters tall yet, I felt my own height of 155 centimeters was somewhat excessive. Early the next morning, I waited for Lin Yuan at the alley entrance with eggs and milk. As soon as he appeared, I handed them over. He habitually frowned again. I tilted my head and smiled at him until my eyes nearly disappeared. "My mum says you need to eat more eggs and drink milk to grow taller." I secretly compared our heights. I felt a vague concern for our future children's height. I often ran over to Granny Lin's house. Everyone saw me following Lin Yuan around all the time, and guessed my little secret. At the alley entrance, a group of aunties who loved to gossip often sat by the small shop. Whenever they saw me walking home from school with Lin Yuan, they would tease, "Ire, when Xianyu grows up, she be Lin Yuan's wife, huh?" Lin Yuan, having just moved here, would only turn red-eared and stalk off stiff-faced when he heard the aunties teasing. I was different. My skin was thick. Hearing them say that, I would pretend to be angry and stamp my foot. "Aunties, don't say things like that. Lin Yuan is shy. Don't scare him." The aunties would burst into laughter, humoring me. Later, I watched a few movies where a delicate girl from the city married a burly rough man from the village. After being teased by the village aunties, the man would say things just like I did. What a sin. But I had promised Lin Yuan's mother to look after him, and I was determined to keep my word. Lin Yuan had come from a big city to our small county town. His looks, habits, style of dress, and manner of speaking were all out of place with us, clearly marking him as coming from money. This inevitably attracted some trouble. For instance, one day during our second year of junior high, on the way home from school, Lin Yuan was cornered by a group of older delinquents in a small alley next to the school's side gate. I happened to pass by and saw one of them shove Lin Yuan against the wall. The wall was made of rough, uneven stones. Lin Yuan frowned as his back hit it. Oh my God, that must have hurt. I couldn't stand it. I grabbed a broom from the entrance of a nearby small store and charged in, swinging it with full force but no technique, pushing through the crowd to shield Lin Yuan behind me. One hand pressing Lin Yuan back, the other pointing the broom at them, I yelled, "Which gang are you from? State your names. Tomorrow I'll have my big brother Nan Huifei deal with you." Our school had both a junior and senior high section, and Nan Huifei was the notoriously fearsome bully of the senior high, for no other reason than that the principal was his father. Nan Huifei was indeed closely connected to me, also for no other reason than that he had a crush on my cousin. My loud shouting attracted quite a crowd. Plus, I dropped Nan Huifei's name, so the delinquents could only slink away sheepishly. After they left, I dropped the broom, my legs going weak as I leaned against the wall. I wiped cold sweat from my temple. That scared me to death. I turned to look at Lin Yuan. "Are you okay?" Lin Yuan still wore his signature iceberg face, but there seemed to be something extra in his eyes. Coolly he spat out 2 words. "Idiot." Lin Yuan, a tall tree catching the wind, always ranked first in our grade, while us minor riffraff could only watch from afar. Not only were his grades excellent, but his talents were too. At the school's talent show, he played a piano piece with such mastery that he instantly captured the hearts of many young girls, naturally inviting jealousy from some boys too. Sure enough, a few days later he was cornered in an alley again. The reason? The girl liked by the junior high's little bully had given Lin Yuan a love letter. Watching Lin Yuan being surrounded, I sighed inwardly. A beauty is a calamity. Then I ran to the senior high section to get help. Nan Huifei was playing basketball on the court. I climbed onto the surrounding wall and shouted inside, "Big brother, emergency aid required." By the time I led Nun Huifei and his crew marching grandly to the alley, Lin Yuan was already tangled in a fight with the group. Seeing Lin Yuan get punched, I charged right over, shielding him behind me. In return, I was kicked in the abdomen by one of them. The pain made me curl up on the ground. After snapping back to his senses, Lin Yuan grabbed me and rolled us both aside, dodging a club aimed at the ground where I had been. Seeing me get kicked, Nan Huifei, probably worried my cousin would be angry, immediately led his crew charging in. They quickly dispersed the junior high kids. Finally, he pinned the guy who had kicked me to the ground, pointed at me, and said, "Take a good look. She's under my protection. You lay another finger on her, and I'll break your legs." I was in so much pain, cold sweat breaking out all over. Seeing me like this, Lin Yuan's eternally icy expression finally thawed a little. He helped me sit up, gripping my shoulders. "What's wrong? Where does it hurt?" Holding my stomach, tears as big as beans fell. "My stomach hurts so bad, it hurts so much." Nan Huifei was also afraid something serious might happen to me, so the whole group carried me to the hospital. My second year of junior high, Lin Yuan's height had finally caught up to mine. Perhaps feeling guilty because I was hurt for him, he carried me on his back the whole way. By the time he set me down at the hospital entrance, his white clothes were already stained with blood. Nan Huifei was horrified. He grabbed the doctor's hand, anxiety written all over his face. "Doctor, you have to save her. Otherwise my lifelong happiness is ruined." Lin Yuan rolled his eyes beside him. "You're just cursing her to die." The female doctor examined me and finally sighed. "It's nothing serious. She just got her first period. Have some hot water and rest at home, and she'll be fine." That's right. That little bully's kick had brought on my very first period in life. The doctor told Lin Yuan and Nan Huifei, who were waiting outside the door. Both boys flushed red to the roots of their ears. The doctor added, "Which one of you will go buy some sanitary pads for her? She can rest a bit, and then go home." Although Nan Huifei was already a senior in high school, at heart he was still a simple boy. Hearing about buying sanitary pads for a girl, he immediately passed the buck. He pointed at Lin Yuan. "You go buy them. She got kicked because of you. Besides, buying sanitary pads, I'd only do that for my Linleng." Linleng was my cousin, whom Nan Huifei loved with exceptional depth. Lin Yuan didn't refuse either. He went to the small supermarket by the hospital entrance to buy pads for me. When he returned, he pulled a black plastic bag from under his sweatshirt and shoved it at me. I took it and looked inside. It contained a pack of sanitary pads. I looked at him. "Lin Yuan, did you steal these?" The usually cool and taciturn boy finally showed the shyness appropriate for his age. Blushing, he said, "Why do you have so many questions? Does it matter if I stole or bought them?" I was wearing a skirt, so it hadn't gotten stained much, but Lin Yuan's white sweatshirt had borne the brunt. After we left the hospital, Nan Huifei took his crew and left. Lin Yuan and I headed home. I followed carefully behind him, seeing the red stain on his clothes. It was only then that the bashfulness of a girl's first period showed on my face. I reached out and tugged at the hem of his shirt. Lin Yuan stopped and looked back. "What's wrong?" I was a bit awkward, hemming and hawing before finally speaking. "Let me wash your clothes for you." Lin Yuan was taken aback for a moment before understanding. He didn't mince words. "Okay." With that, he simply took the shirt off. I let out a shriek, covering my face in extreme bashfulness. "What are you doing?" I said I covered my face, but my fingers were spread apart, perfectly framing my round, bulging eyeballs. I was bashful, excited, and anticipatory about Lin Yuan taking his clothes off. But in the end, I was disappointed. I stared at him. "Why are you wearing another shirt underneath?" Under his sweatshirt, Lin Yuan had on a white t-shirt. I was furious. Lin Yuan handed me the shirt. "You look a little disappointed?" I waved my hand dismissively. "What? No. Haha. How could I be? After all, if I showed it too obviously, I might scare Lin Yuan away." I'd heard about Lin Yuan's family background from my parents, but I was still a bit curious why his mother had left him in this small town for junior high. My neighbor Xiaomei's parents had spent a lot of money to get her into a junior high in the city, saying it was for a better education. Lin Yuan's parents shouldn't have been unaware of this. I vaguely felt that something had happened in Lin Yuan's family. I kept a close watch on Lin Yuan, ready to comfort him the moment something occurred. However, nothing major happened throughout the first year and the first semester of second year. During festivals, Lin Yuan's parents would still come to spend them with him. They also often sent him many toys and snacks unavailable in our little town. As Lin Yuan's #1 ardent follower, I had access through Granny Lin, so I was always the first to get the snacks his parents sent. I thought nothing major could have happened in Lin Yuan's family. After all, the chocolate his mother bought him cost 100 yuan for a tiny piece. But the turning point came in the second semester of second year. When I got home, I overheard the gossip from the aunties at the alley entrance. "Hey, have you heard? Something happened to Lin Yuan's family's company." "What happened?" "I heard they had problems as early as a year ago, barely hanging on. Recently, they couldn't hold on anymore and declared bankruptcy. No wonder they sent Lin Yuan here for school out of the blue." Hearing this, I took off running, straight to Lin Yuan's house. "My Lin Yuan, I will protect you." But I didn't expect that when I barged into Lin Yuan's room, I wouldn't find a sad, grieving Lin Yuan. He was reading a book, headphones on, sitting on the bay window seat of the little house. The image of the boy reading quietly under the white window sheer was simply too beautiful. Seduced by his looks, I forgot why I had come. Seeing me, Lin Yuan looked displeased. "What are you doing here?" I hemmed and hawed, unable to get a word out, afraid that mentioning that thing would upset him. Seeing me like this, Lin Yuan guessed my motive for barging in. He snorted disdainfully and said, "No need for your concern. I've known about this since I transferred here. Business is like this. Victory or defeat, resurgence or ruin. It's all in the blink of an eye." 13-year-old Lin Yuan uttered these words, profound to me, with such composure. The June sunlight filtering through the white window sheer fell on him, as if casting a soft glow. Damn, this man is so deep. I love him even more. Lin Yuan was right. Victory or defeat is in the blink of an eye. But the chain reaction following that blink was something his 13-year-old self couldn't bear. After his family went bankrupt, his parents basically stopped showing up. I didn't fully understand the meaning of company bankruptcy, but I picked up bits from my parents' conversations. Company bankrupt, debts piling up. Lin Yuan's parents were constantly harassed by debt collectors, so they didn't dare come see Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan never said anything, but following him around, I always felt he seemed lonelier. Lin Yuan's family was in real estate. After the bankruptcy, some properties were left unfinished. Unfortunately, the wedding apartment of a female teacher in our class was in a residential complex developed by Lin Yuan's family. His company. Before the incident, the teacher had fawned over Lin Yuan, even exempting him from tasks like cleaning. She'd gotten a discount through him to buy the apartment. But now, with his parents' company bankrupt and the property unfinished, the teacher's wedding apartment was gone. She took her anger out on Lin Yuan. During class, if Lin Yuan turned around to look at a classmate behind him, she'd call him out to stand in the corridor as punishment. She refused to grade his homework, returning it exactly as submitted, or claimed she never received it, making him redo it. Even when the cleaning area was already spotless, if a downpour washed in some trash, the teacher would call Lin Yuan out alone to clean it, holding an umbrella in one hand and cleaning with the other. In the pouring rain, his little umbrella was no match. His clothes were soaked through in no time. Classmates whispered, thinking the teacher was going too far. But the teacher would snap. "Anyone else making a sound can go clean with him." Everyone fell silent again, fearing to be caught in the crossfire. But I wasn't afraid. I stood up directly and said, "Teacher, I don't think what you're doing is right." The class fell silent. Everyone knew I had a thing for Lin Yuan, but they didn't expect me to go this far for a pretty face. Suppressing her anger, the teacher sneered. "Do you want to go clean outside too?" I confronted her head-on. "I can go clean. But teacher, you can't illegally punish a student because of your personal feelings." Everyone knew what the teacher was doing, but no one dared speak up. Now that I had started, classmates chimed in softly in agreement. After all, lately due to her bad mood, the teacher hadn't just punished Lin Yuan. Some innocent classmates had gotten dragged in too. The class's restlessness made the teacher even more furious. She slapped the teaching desk hard with her pointer. Rebellion. You're all rebelling. Lin Yuan's parents' company went bankrupt, harming so many people. Others worked their whole lives hard to earn enough for an apartment. How many people's life savings were ruined, just like that. What does that have to do with Lin Yuan? I cut off the teacher's tirade. Lin Yuan's parents may be at fault. But what does it have to do with Lin Yuan? He's only 13. Besides, before the incident, you insisted on him pulling strings for you. Didn't you get quite a discount? The teacher was speechless for a moment but quickly retorted. Then he must have known something about his family's business, right? Why didn't he warn me not to buy? I rolled my eyes inwardly. Then, teacher, can you tell me the questions for the final exam? The teacher was stunned into silence. I snorted. See, you don't know either. As a teacher, you don't know the final exam questions. How could a child know his family's business was in trouble? The whole class applauded and cheered. I waved my hands. Low-key, keep it low-key. Having made a scene, the furious teacher threw me out to clean with Lin Yuan. I couldn't be happier to share hardship with Lin Yuan. I grabbed a broom and trotted out gleefully. Lin Yuan was standing in the rain, holding a small umbrella. The rain had lightened up, so I didn't even bother with an umbrella. Splashing through puddles, I hopped over to Lin Yuan, beaming. Lin Yuan, I'm here to keep you company. Lin Yuan was taken aback, seeming puzzled, then held his umbrella over my head. What are you doing here? I said. It was too stuffy in the classroom. I came out for some air. Lin Yuan was clever. He could guess I'd talked back to the teacher for him. But he sternly snatched the broom from my hand and said sharply, Don't meddle in what's not your business. He shoved the umbrella into my arms, turned, and went back to cleaning the trash. I'm prone to crying easily. I'd held back hard during the confrontation with the teacher, but now, being scolded by Lin Yuan, my tears fell. This person really was cold-blooded. The incident of the teacher's illegal punishment was reported to the principal. She wasn't fired, but she was no longer teaching our class. Of course, this was done by me through Nan Weifei, whose dad was the senior high principal. After his family's bankruptcy, Lin Yuan became even icier. Before, my warm face against his cold butt had almost warmed him up. After this episode, Lin Yuan distanced himself again. But my mom said, boys also need some personal space. He must be upset about his family situation. If I follow him around every day, he won't have a chance to cry. I had an epiphany. Plus, with the pressure of the senior high entrance exam approaching, my grades were worrying, far from making it into the city's key high school. So, my mom hired me a tutor, and I started studying frantically every day. My goal was to get into the same university as Lin Yuan, the top student in our grade. So naturally, my attention on Lin Yuan decreased. On the eve of the entrance exams, I stole a moment of leisure on a weekend. After finishing my practice papers, I ran out to find Lin Yuan. But before I reached his house, I ran into a familiar person at the alley entrance. Lin Yuan's mother was wearing a hat and sunglasses, but I still recognized her. I ran up to her excitedly. Auntie, are you here to see Lin Yuan? The last time I'd seen Lin Yuan's mother was during the summer before junior high. So, my sudden appearance made her pause, as if she didn't recognize me. In these 3 years, I'd grown nearly 20 centimeters. Lin Yuan had shot up even more, from a little sprout under 1.4 meters to over 1.7 meters. It was normal for his mother not to recognize us. I hurried to introduce myself. It's me, Lin Yuan's good friend, Mu Xianyu. You asked me to look after Lin Yuan before. Lin Yuan's mother finally remembered. I warmly led her toward Granny Lin's house, chatting as we walked. Lin Yuan's grandmother went back to the countryside recently. She probably won't be back for a couple of days. Lin Yuan should be at home. I knocked on the courtyard door of Granny Lin's house. No response. I took a step back and called out again, Lin Yuan. Still no response. I glanced back at Lin Yuan's mother. Auntie, don't worry. Lin Yuan might have gone out to buy something. Let's wait for him. My parents weren't home, so I brought Lin Yuan's mother to my house. But after waiting over an hour with no sign of Lin Yuan, I ran out to ask at the small shop. The shop auntie said Lin Yuan had gone out early in the morning, saying he was going to a friend's house. Seeing Lin Yuan's mother growing anxious, I said, "Auntie, I'll go call Lin Yuan back." But truthfully, I didn't know which friend's house Lin Yuan had gone to. Lin Yuan's mother looked at her wristwatch. "There's not enough time." She took a box from her bag, exquisitely wrapped. Lin Yuan's mother patted my head and tucked 100 yuan red envelope into my hand. "Xian Yu, Auntie asks you again. Please look after our Yuan a little more, okay?" Lin Yuan's mother left. I hugged the box she left behind and sat outside Lin Yuan's door. It wasn't until late at night that Lin Yuan returned. He found me sitting like a little beggar by his courtyard gate. "Not sleeping at this hour, guarding my house." He laughed. "I don't have money to pay you, you know. I'd been squatting so long my legs had gone numb." Waking up, I was dazed for a moment. Lin Yuan opened the courtyard gate and looked back at me. "Whatever it is, tell me tomorrow. Hurry home and sleep. Don't block my doorway." Watching Lin Yuan walk into the courtyard, I suddenly remembered why I was there. I ran after him and handed him the box. "Lin Yuan, this is from your mum." Lin Yuan stopped, turned back, looking incredulous. I added, "Your mom came today, but you weren't home, so she asked me to give this to you." Lin Yuan didn't take the thing from me. Instead, he grabbed my arm, his emotions becoming agitated. "When did she leave?" His grip hurt a bit. It was the first time I'd seen him like this, and I was a little scared. Seeing I didn't answer, he asked again. She left in the afternoon. Probably took the long-distance bus." As soon as I finished speaking, Lin Yuan pushed me away and sprinted outside. "Hey, you." I looked at the thing in my hand, then at Lin Yuan rushing out. In the end, I put the box down, and when I went out, I pulled the door shut behind me. Lin Yuan ran to the bus station. The bus station in our small county town wasn't like those in cities. At this hour, there were basically no people. Just the trash left from the daytime crowds and a cleaner tidying up. Lin Yuan ran panting to the bus station. From a distance, I saw him fall to his knees on the spot, covering his face and crying bitterly. I chased after him, but only dared stand behind him. I couldn't truly empathize. But once when my grandmother came to see me and left secretly while I was asleep, I woke up and, without even putting on shoes, ran out crying after her. I was only temporarily parting with my grandma, and I was that sad. Lin Yuan hadn't seen his mother in so long, and who knew when the next time would be. Watching the young boy under the dim streetlight, my heart ached for him. For a long time after that, Lin Yuan indeed didn't see his mother again. In that box, Lin Yuan's mother had placed the chocolates he used to like, and an envelope containing over 3,000 yuan. When Lin Yuan opened the box and saw those things, his eyes reddened again. Soon, it was time for the senior high entrance exams. Thanks to the intensive cramming during that period, I finally managed to get into the same key high school in the city as Lin Yuan. We were even lucky enough to be placed in the same class again. But from the first day of school, I sensed a threat, because there was a little green tea in the class. The green tea was named Zhang Ruoru. Black, long, straight hair, fair skin, big eyes, the picture of delicate beauty. On the first day of school, she walked up to Lin Yuan and gave him a sweet smile. "Hello, Lin Yuan. I'm Zhang Ruoru, second in our grade. Please look after me from now on." I was still holding the water I'd bought for Lin Yuan. Seeing this, I felt like I'd been cheated on. But thankfully, Lin Yuan just glanced at her and said, "Got it. Can you not block my way?" I grinned happily again. A girl who had been in the same class with me since junior high appeared beside me. She saw that too and said to me, "Seems like Lin Yuan got harassed by you too much before. Can't appreciate the finer things now." At first glance, that sentence seemed fine. On second thought, something was off. I slapped her arm. "What are you saying? Our Lin Yuan is not a wild boar." She gave me a thumbs up. "With your comprehension skills, I'm impressed you got into a key high school." Zhang Ruoru came on strong, and wouldn't give up after just one try. She started pestering Lin Yuan, sitting next to him during breaks with exercise books, asking him how to solve this or that problem. When a school had an Olympiad math competition to attend in another city, among the 5 selected were Lin Yuan and Zhang Ruoru. That meant Lin Yuan would have to go to another city with Zhang Ruoru, ride the same bus, stay in the same hotel. This was something I had fantasized about, but Zhang Ruoru had beaten me to it. I was grinding my back teeth in frustration. Lin Yuan and Zhang Ruoru left on Tuesday, and didn't return until Friday afternoon. 4 whole days. Do you know how I suffered those 4 whole days? Tormented, I finally got Lin Yuan back, but I didn't dare ask him what they had done during those days. With a 2-day weekend holiday, we could go home after class on Friday. Usually, I took the same long-distance bus home as Lin Yuan. This time was no exception. But I didn't want to sit next to Lin Yuan this time. I chose a seat toward the back. Back in our small town, Lin Yuan walked ahead, and I followed behind. Head down, in low spirits, I didn't feel like talking. By the time we got near home, it was already dark. Lin Yuan, walking ahead, suddenly stopped. He turned to look at me. Mu Xianyu, what on earth are you up to? I was startled. Lin Yuan continued. I'll give you a chance. Ask whatever you want to ask. I fidgeted, hemming and hawing before finally saying, I just want to know. What do you think of Zhang Ruoru? Lin Yuan. Nothing. Don't want to date. Don't want a study partner. So, can you stop looking at me with that resentful face? I keep feeling like you're planning to assassinate me. Hearing this, I was delighted. Lin Yuan was actively explaining to me. I looked up at Lin Yuan joyfully. Under the dim streetlight, the boy's eyes still seemed to hold a galaxy. Damp wind, bright stars, flowers at the street corner, the world had countless beautiful scenes. But even the loveliest spring breeze for miles couldn't compare to him alone. Because of Lin Yuan's one moment of initiative, I got cocky. In my diary, I even thought up names for our future children. In high school, Lin Yuan shot up like a young poplar tree, reaching nearly 1.8 meters tall. His features matured too. Those peach blossom eyes captivated countless people. I often heard girls ranking Lin Yuan as the school heartthrob. I felt proud about this. First, it meant I had good taste, having set my sights on Lin Yuan since he was 12. Second, Lin Yuan was the future father of my children. With genes like that, I was proud. Zhang Ruoru still pursued Lin Yuan aggressively, but Lin Yuan remained firmly guarded. I shamelessly attributed all this to Lin Yuan guarding his chastity for me. Watching Zhang Ruoru suffer repeated defeats, I was very satisfied. In a good mood, my studies improved, and I rose to the top 5 in the class. In contrast, Zhang Ruoru, affected by being repeatedly rejected by Lin Yuan, saw her grades drop significantly. When a furious Zhang Ruoru cornered me on the school building rooftop to confront me, I said with confidence, I've known Lin Yuan since first year of junior high. His mother and grandmother have accepted me. You know his personality. If he disliked me, he would have chased me away long ago. Yes, I was very confident. Even though Lin Yuan had never verbally admitted he liked me, I was confident, believing Lin Yuan just didn't want to date in high school. Once we got to university, I could be with him. But hope and disaster always arrives first. Lin Yuan's parents were in an accident. After the company bankruptcy, Lin Yuan's parents hid from debt collectors while trying to repay debts. Although Lin Yuan didn't see them, he occasionally received things from them, knowing they were safe. But just as we started second year of high school, Lin Yuan's parents, while being intercepted by illegal debt collectors, had their car roll down a hillside. Lin Yuan's father died on the spot. His mother became comatose. I learned about this from the news. That weekend, I was still thinking about going to the amusement park with Lin Yuan when this news suddenly popped up on my computer. My heart sank. When I ran to Granny Lin's house, she told me Lin Yuan had already gone to find his mother. It had been over a year since his mother last visited him. This time they met, his mother was in a vegetative state. Lin Yuan was gone for a full 2 weeks. Only after half a month did he return. That night after self-study, I was about to head back to the dorm with my roommate when I received a message from Lin Yuan. He said, I'm back. Can you come out and have a meal with me? I climbed over the school wall. Lin Yuan waited for me on the other side. I jumped from the wall top and landed in his arms. Blushing, I stepped away from his embrace. Only when I stood back did I clearly see his face. In just half a month, he had lost a lot of weight. His once beautiful, dark eyes were now bloodshot. He saw my gaze and said, Haven't slept properly recently. Lin Yuan took me to a late-night food stall. I ordered a few things I liked, then handed him the menu. Lin Yuan shook his head. Everything tastes the same to me now. My heart sank. Of course, with such a huge family tragedy, he must have had no appetite, no sleep. I didn't know how to comfort Lin Yuan, and knew deep down that in such a situation, comfort might not mean much. So, throughout the meal, I didn't bring up those things. I just kept talking about the interesting things that happened at school while he was away. I talked. Lin Yuan listened quietly. But after the meal, as I was about to climb back over the wall to the dorm, Lin Yuan grabbed the hem of my shirt. Again under the streetlight. But this time, the boy lacked his former vibrant spirit. Lin Yuan was holding back, but his eyes were already rimmed red. I turned and hugged him, my own heart aching. I said, "Cry, Lin Yuan, you can cry it out." That night, the usually icy boy lost his last of his composure in front of me. From that time on, Lin Yuan basically stopped attending classes regularly. He began frequently asking for leave, often for a week at a time. When he did return, he'd sleep with his head on the desk. Once he even came back with injuries on his face. His grades started slipping too, from first in the grade to outside the top 20. He also arranged to live off campus. He was late almost every morning and stopped attending evening self-study sessions. I felt this wasn't good. Taking advantage of a weekend home visit, I went to see Granny Lin to see if we could think of something. But Granny Lin told me Lin Yuan rarely came home anymore either. He just occasionally brought her some living expenses. Living expenses? He was a second-year high school student. His parents in that state. What living expenses could he have? I sensed something was wrong. Once, when Lin Yuan missed a monthly exam, that weekend, I didn't go home. Instead, I chose to tail Lin Yuan. Lin Yuan wandered around outside for a bit, then entered a high-end KTV. I followed him in but was stopped by staff. Remembering that a rich kid from the parallel class was having a birthday party there that day, I showed my school ID, said I was there for a classmate's birthday, and they let me in. I rarely came to such places. After circling around, I still couldn't find Lin Yuan. Instead, I ran into a few small-time delinquents. I was still in my school uniform, hair in a high ponytail, clearly a naive little girl. Appearing in this place was like a lamb entering a wolf's den. The delinquents blocked my way, making crude jokes. Clutching my backpack, unsure what to do, I saw Lin Yuan walk out of a private room with a group of adults. I quickly shouted, "Lin Yuan! Lin Yuan!" Seeing me, Lin Yuan's face changed. He said something to the people beside him before walking over to me. The group with Lin Yuan clearly had significant backgrounds. These delinquents were small fry. As soon as Lin Yuan approached, they slunk away sheepishly. Lin Yuan grabbed my arm and pulled me outside. From his expression, I could tell he was angry. As Lin Yuan dragged me out, I glanced back at that group of men. They looked to be in their 30s or 40s, not like ordinary businessmen. They looked dangerous. Seeing me look at them, the leading man smiled at me. A chill immediately shot from the soles of my feet straight to the top of my head. Lin Yuan pulled me outside the KTV and yelled at me, "What are you doing here?" I didn't know why Lin Yuan was so fierce. Startled, tears welled up in my eyes. I said softly, "I was just worried about you." But Lin Yuan was still furious. He dragged me to the bus station, bought me a ticket home, and said icily, "Mu Xianyu, stay out of my business from now on." I didn't know what Lin Yuan had been through. I didn't want to watch him sink deeper and deeper. But the more I tried to help, the more he distanced himself. Before the summer break of senior year, Lin Yuan dropped out of school. I went to find Lin Yuan, but he seemed nonchalant. He said, "Mu Xianyu, at most you're just a neighbor. Could you not meddle so much? Whether I drop out or transfer schools, what does it have to do with you?" Lin Yuan had changed. Not just his attitude towards me. He had changed entirely. I couldn't persuade him. On the day he left, I helped him pack his things while crying, wiping tears as I sorted his belongings. It was PE class, so everyone else was out. Only he and I were in the classroom. Lin Yuan seemed to want to say something but stopped himself. After a while, he said to me, "Don't cry. I'm not dead. I'm just transferring. I'll study somewhere else." I sniffled. "Really? Really? Don't cry as if you're at a funeral. It's embarrassing." I still wept, helping Lin Yuan carry his things to the school gate. He didn't have much stuff. I didn't need to see him off. I just wanted to spend a little more time with him. At the school gate, Lin Yuan reached for the books in my hand. I kept my head down and didn't let go. Can't you not go? I had a premonition that after this, Lin Yuan wouldn't come back to his grandmother's house much, and it would be hard for us to meet. Lin Yuan's throat tightened. He moved his lips but couldn't speak. After a long time, he finally said, "I won't go far." Lin Yuan still left. I stood at the school gate, watching him walk away step by step. "Lin Yuan." I suddenly called out to him. Lin Yuan stopped but didn't turn around. "Remember to come back and see me." I choked out the words. But in the end, Lin Yuan still didn't turn around. In the summer before stepping into senior year, I said goodbye to the boy I loved ahead of time. Lin Yuan walked away step by step, eventually disappearing around the Sycamore Line street corner. Lin Yuan was a liar. After he left, he never came back to see me. After dropping out, he seemed to have evaporated from the earth. QQ offline, phone calls unanswered. No one could reach him. Sometimes I wondered if Lin Yuan had committed murder or arson and needed to drop out to lay low. Then he should have told me. Given how much I liked him, I would have happily been his informant. Senior year without Lin Yuan was dull and long. I poured all my energy into studying. My grades improved by leaps and bounds, becoming a permanent fixture in the top 3 of the grade. During the college entrance exams, I performed exceptionally well, becoming the city's top scorer in liberal arts. Congratulatory banners filled the streets. At the high school graduation dinner, I received a message from Lin Yuan. He said, "Congratulations on such good results." In the year he hadn't replied. I had sent him messages every day, sharing every little thing. But he only replied with this one sentence. I seized the moment and immediately dialed his number. After many rings, Lin Yuan answered. His low voice came through, and instantly my nose stung and big tears fell. Choking up, I said, "Lin Yuan, I miss you." On the other end, Lin Yuan was silent for a long time before speaking. "Don't. Mushianyu, you need to move forward." In university, I started a new life. I made new friends. Some boys pursued me, but I gently rejected them all. Although I no longer cried over Lin Yuan, I knew my heart still held him. Don't meet a boy who dazzles you too easily when you're young. Otherwise, your whole life will feel lonely, haunted by that unforgettable memory. I passed my freshman and sophomore years calmly. Because Lin Yuan had been outstanding, I followed his path, winning scholarships and becoming the famously studious goddess on campus. During the winter break of my junior year, I returned to the small town. Just before the spring festival, I saw Lin Yuan. The auntie from the small shop had a little granddaughter, born to her son. Her joy shifted from daily gossip to doting on the little girl. Busy before the holiday, the auntie let her 3-year-old granddaughter play with fallen leaves by the shop entrance. I crouched down to play with the little girl. Just as we were having fun, I heard a voice. "Still playing with dirt at your age?" I froze, looked up sharply, and saw Lin Yuan. 4 whole years had passed since our last meeting. Unlike the 17-year-old boy from before, he looked much more mature, his features sharper. The only constant was those captivating peach blossom eyes. I was stunned, unable to react. The little girl handed me a leaf. "Sister, this is pretty." I took the leaf from her, stood up. Faced with Lin Yuan's composure, I was somewhat flustered. I looked at Lin Yuan, then averted my gaze, tucking a stray strand of hair behind my ear, then nervously rubbing the leaf until the little girl cried out anxiously, "Sister, leaf. Leaf broken." I snapped back to reality and smiled at Lin Yuan. "How come you're back?" I was different from 4 years ago too. In high school, busy studying, I never bothered with appearance. In university, a makeup enthusiast in the dorm dragged us into learning. I learned to dress up. I had waist-length hair, and for the new year, I'd gotten big waves. I wore a knit sweater and a skirt. But it seemed no matter what changes I made, Lin Yuan's eyes held no ripple. Lin Yuan said, "Haven't been back to Grandma's for too long. Taking the holiday to see her." After greeting me, Lin Yuan turned and walked towards his grandmother's house. I stood where I was, just like 4 years ago, watching him walk away step by step, the leaf in my hand crushed. The little girl pouted. Sister broke the leaf. I picked her up and took her aside to pick new leaves. On New Year's Eve, with decorations everywhere, I was hanging a small lantern by my courtyard gate. Lin Yuan came out of his grandmother's house and saw me struggling on tiptoe. He walked over silently, took the little lantern from my hand, and hung it on the doorframe. I didn't turn, but I could sense it was him. My whole body tensed at his proximity. After hanging it, Lin Yuan took a step back. I turned, unsure how to handle this situation. Lin Yuan smiled, measured my height with his hand, and said, "All these years, how come you haven't grown taller?" I snorted. "Not like you, only growing in height, not in brains. 4 years apart, with that ambiguous past." The lack of conversation made the atmosphere delicate. Of course, this awkwardness seemed felt only by me. Lin Yuan leaned down to meet my eyes, his gaze bright as stars. "Mu Xianyu." "MM?" I looked up. Lin Yuan looked directly into my eyes. "Are you dating anyone?" I was stunned, only processing his question after a moment. "Is it important?" I looked back at him. Lin Yuan didn't speak. We just stared at each other, both waiting for the other to break the stalemate. We held out for a long time. Finally, a passing child threw a handful of snap poppers on the ground. The crackling sound snapped us out of our standoff. I turned to look at the kids. Lin Yuan straightened up, ruffled my hair, and said to me, "Mu Xianyu, Happy New Year." Growing up, one feels somewhat out of place amidst holiday festivities. On New Year's Eve, adults gathered to watch the Spring Festival gala and chat, while children ran in groups through the alleys setting off firecrackers. I sat at my desk, video chatting with my university roommates. Fireworks weren't banned in the small town. When the time came, brilliant fireworks bloomed across the sky. Hearing the noise, I looked out the window and saw fireworks going off not far away. I ended the video call and started recording with my phone. While recording, I felt a gaze upon me. I looked down. Lin Yuan was standing under the streetlight outside his grandmother's gate, smoking. He looked up. I looked down. Seeing I'd noticed him, he tilted his head and smiled. Immediately, anger surged. I rushed downstairs, ran up to him, and before he could speak, grabbed his wrist and bit down hard. I really bit without holding back. Lin Yuan frowned but didn't push me away. When I let go, tears were falling too. I released his hand. "Liar, you said you'd come back to see me. From dropping out before senior year to now, my junior year 4 whole years. I'd sent him countless messages in those 4 years, but except for after the college entrance exams, he never replied." Crying, I hit him with my fists. "Liar, if you don't like me, just tell me clearly, and I'd give up." Ignoring me for 4 whole years, then suddenly appearing and saying misleading things like today. "Lin Yuan, what do you take me for?" Lin Yuan hadn't expected my sudden emotional outburst. With neighbors everywhere in the alley, maybe afraid of causing a scene, he grabbed my hand and ran outside with me. We ran all the way, burning off my anger. Lin Yuan pulled me to the riverside and stopped. I was out of breath, panting, before I could speak. Lin Yuan cupped my face, and a cool kiss tasting faintly of tobacco landed on my lips. The countdown happened right then. Fireworks bloomed over the river. Lin Yuan said, "Mu Xianyu, wait for me. Don't get a boyfriend just yet." The irresponsible Lin Yuan left early the next morning, right after kissing me. When I woke up, I had a message from him. He said, "Mu Xianyu, I'll be back soon." My life returned to calm, as if he'd never appeared. During the summer break of my senior year, Lin Yuan's grandmother passed away. The elderly lady had fallen in the courtyard. By the time she was taken to the hospital, it was too late. I was still at school. My parents told me Lin Yuan had returned to handle the funeral and was now staying at his grandmother's house. I rushed back for summer break. Lin Yuan was still there. Compared to our meeting half a year earlier, he looked more fragile. I pushed open the courtyard gate. He was sitting in a lounge chair. A string of Buddhist prayer beads coiled around his pale, thin wrist. I walked up to him. Seeing me, he gave a faint smile. "You're back." I said, "And you? Are you back?" Half a year ago, he told me he'd be back soon. So, was it this time? Lin Yuan's expression remained placid. like the exhausted calm that follows extreme grief. He said, "Xianyu, my grandmother is gone." I said, "It's okay. Grandma didn't suffer before she left." He added, "My mother passed away too." I was stunned for a moment. Lin Yuan's mother had been in a coma since his first year of high school. Sustained only by money, medical bills, nursing costs, money flowing out like water. Many had urged Lin Yuan to give up, but he had borne it. I could guess that dropping out, his connections with those dangerous-looking people, it was all for money to treat his mother. Even though she was in a vegetative state, she was Lin Yuan's last pillar of support. Lin Yuan's expression was still calm, but I could see the corners of his eyes reddening. Grandmother and mother gone one after another. He was alone in the world. I walked over, crouched beside his chair and gave him a hug. Lin Yuan seemed to grab onto this lifeline. He hugged me back, burying his face in the crook of my neck, weeping quietly. He choked out, "My mother woke up a while ago, but the doctors said she was completely paralyzed, bedridden for life. She didn't want to burden me. After spending some time with me, she pulled out her foretube herself. My grandmother only fell because she heard this news. They've both left me." Lin Yuan stayed at his grandmother's house for a long time. The neighbors, sympathetic about his family losses, invited him for meals. He declined most invitations, including ours. I went with him to visit his grandmother's grave. The kind old lady was now a simple mound of earth. Lin Yuan squatted, earning paper money. I placed a bouquet of flowers before the grave. The paper money turned to ash in the fire. The wind rose, carrying the ashes in a spiral into the distance. For a while, Lin Yuan and I acted as if nothing had happened. We revisited many of our old haunts. I didn't ask where he'd been or what he'd done these years. He didn't explain why he changed all his contact info. We silently agreed not to bring it up. One night, walking behind him on the way home, I watched his back under the streetlight and remembered another night long ago, following him just like this. Back then, I'd wondered when I could rightfully hold his hand, become his girlfriend. Thinking of this, I suddenly stopped. Lin Yuan heard and stopped too, turning to ask, "What's wrong?" Looking into his eyes, I said firmly, "Lin Yuan, let's be together." Though my voice was firm, my heart was anxious. My hands gripped my backpack straps tightly. If Lin Yuan had answered any later, I might have torn them. But thankfully, Lin Yuan only paused briefly before answering. He said, "Okay." Lin Yuan and I officially became a couple. After years as his admirer, finally winning over my crush. I was smug and wanted to flaunt it on social media, but Lin Yuan stopped me. He said, "Let's wait a bit longer. Wait until we've been together longer before making it public." Although I'd read many online posts saying, "If your boyfriend won't make it public, break up," in front of Lin Yuan, I had no principles. After school started, I planned to focus on studying for graduate school entrance exams. Lin Yuan rented an apartment near my school, cooking for me every day and taking me wherever I wanted to go. Movies, camping by the sea, trips to nearby cities, whatever I could think of, Lin Yuan provided. The first semester of senior year had almost no classes. Most of the time, I studied for exams at Lin Yuan's place. Lin Yuan rented a 2-bedroom apartment. One room we shared, the other became my study. While I studied, Lin Yuan sometimes sat beside me, chin in hand, watching me. It suddenly struck me that he used to excel in everything, better than me. It was only family misfortune that made him drop out. I closed my book. "Lin Yuan, do you want to continue studying?" Lin Yuan would always smile, pat my head and say, "What? You find studying hard and want to drag me into the fire too?" I knew Lin Yuan was using this attitude to evade my question. He was smart. He knew which path to take. So after that one time, I never brought it up again. Lin Yuan and I had known each other for so many years that the part involving romance was only these few months. During this time, I was very happy. Lin Yuan was incredibly good to me. Though unwilling to make us public, he let me look at his phone anytime and spent every day with me at home. But as time passed, I began to sense something was off. For example, he wouldn't touch me. After months together, our physical contact stopped at holding hands, hugging, kissing. Several times, with my teasing, things almost went further. But Lin Yuan would push me away and run to take a cold shower. I complained to my best friend. Honey, I think Lin Yuan might really be incapable. Also, Lin Yuan had almost no social life. He let me see his phone, but it was strangely empty contacts, social apps too clean for a normal person. As if, all these years, he'd been living under a different identity. Unknown job, no social circle, but his spending level was decent. I couldn't hold back and asked him, "Tell me honestly, are you being kept by a wealthy woman?" Lin Yuan's beautiful brows furrowed. I sighed. Actually, I can understand. Besides, you're using her money to support me anyway. Lin Yuan flipped me onto the bed and tickled me. I giggled uncontrollably, calling him despicable. Every time I questioned him, Lin Yuan would gloss over it. My unease grew. If problems aren't solved, bigger trouble follows. As expected, soon something happened. 4 months into our relationship, Lin Yuan and I broke up. The trigger was Christmas Day. We had plans to go out, but after he left in the morning, he didn't return. I called his phone, but no one answered. It wasn't until noon the next day that Lin Yuan came back, but he offered no explanation for missing our date. He only said, "Xianyu, we have to break up." I didn't understand, but he gave no explanation. The worry from not being able to reach him, the anger at him missing our date, everything exploded at that moment. But no matter how I vented, he just kept saying sorry over and over. That night, he slept beside me. When I woke up the next morning, he was gone. His things, clothes, money were all still in the apartment. Only his ID card was missing. He left as suddenly as he had come. I didn't go looking for him. I knew he had his reasons, but I couldn't let go. I was downcast for a while, crying my heart out every day in that rented apartment. It wasn't until over half a month later, when my roommate found me and dragged me out of that place, that I slowly started to move on. Lin Yuan was gone. He wasn't coming back. Later, I graduated from university. With excellent grades, I got a full scholarship to study abroad. Before leaving, I tried sending a message to Lin Yuan's old number. "I'm going abroad to study." After he left, I'd called and messaged countless times with no reply. So after sending this text, I went to sleep. Waking up the next day, I checked my phone. Lin Yuan had replied. I sat up in bed, thrilled. But opening the message, the little spark of joy died. "Have a smooth journey." Only 4 words, not even a punctuation mark. But it was the first sign of life from him since he left. I didn't dare hope he'd come back or challenge him about leaving. With trembling hands, I sent another message. My tone was submissive, almost pleading, begging him to ask me to stay. I said, "Lin Yuan, I don't want to go." The message was sent, but Lin Yuan didn't reply. I waited and waited. Finally, growing anxious, I called him. Lin Yuan answered, but he urged me to go abroad. He said, "Xianyu, we should both follow our own life paths. Move forward. Don't look back for me." His voice, coming through the phone, was like a sharp sword severing my last hope. Later, I went abroad. There was a new life, new social circles abroad, circles without Lin Yuan. During those 3 years, I even had a relationship. He was a second-generation rich in the Chinese student community, generous, smart, good to me. But eventually, I broke up with him, because the reason I was with him was that he resembled Lin Yuan from certain angles. That wasn't fair to him or to me. After getting my degree, I returned to China. A highly educated, intelligent, presentable female returnee. I was immediately valued by a Fortune Global 500 company. The fast-paced life in a first-tier city was suffocating. I was too busy to think about Lin Yuan. I thought this was good. After a year at the company, I secured my position. A major project required a business trip to Dali. It was on this trip, by Erhe Lake, that I encountered Lin Yuan. The client I signed the contract with was around my age, successful, charming. After signing, he invited me to dinner. I didn't refuse. After the meal, as we walked out of the restaurant, several cars pulled up at the entrance. A crowd of people spilled out, looking aggressive. The client put an arm around my shoulder, guiding me aside to avoid being bumped. But at that moment in the crowd, I saw Lin Yuan. I was astonished. Seeing him about to walk past me, I quickly reached out and grabbed him. Lin Yuan. Not only my client, but even the group around Lin Yuan looked at me in shock. Lin Yuan turned to look at me, but his eyes were distant. After giving me a once-over, he said, Who are you? I was stunned and also sensed the tense atmosphere. A man behind Lin Yuan, with a prominent mole on his chin that left a deep impression, smiled as he looked me over. Hey, Yuan, who's this? Lin Yuan shook his head and withdrew his hand. I don't know her either. I suddenly remembered the Group 1D encountered when I went to the KTV, looking for Lin Yuan in second year of high school. Even if I desperately wanted to talk to Lin Yuan, I sensed something was wrong. Following Lin Yuan's lead, I explained. It's me. We were in high school together. I sat behind you. I even had a crush on you back then. Lin Yuan frowned, thinking hard, as if he really couldn't remember me, then said, Sorry. I dropped out of high school before finishing 2 years. I really don't remember who you are. The people around laughed, saying Lin Yuan was quite the heartthrob, not even remembering who was who. Not lingering further, I left with my client. Only after walking quite a distance did I dare look back. The client asked, Old flame? I forced a light laugh. A toxic entanglement. The client was a sensitive person. Knowing I was upset, he took me to a quiet bar by Erhe Lake for a few drinks. He began by sharing his own story. An unforgettable first love from university. But their paths diverged due to different pursuits. Still had feelings, just couldn't be together anymore. I sighed. That's good. Your feelings were clear. What I had with him feels illusory. Even he as a person might have been illusory. The client raised a glass to me. If you can't feel it, then it wasn't there. But I refused to give up. A bit drunk, I insisted on going back to that restaurant to find Lin Yuan. The client had to accompany me. Unsteady on my feet from drinking, he had to support me. I timed it. From a distance, I saw a car parked at the restaurant entrance. The driver's side window was down, a hand holding a cigarette dangling out. Most of Lin Yuan's face was hidden in shadow, a hint of gloom between his brows, faint but potent. In the passenger seat was a sexy woman in red, leaning towards Lin Yuan with a seductive smile. Lin Yuan didn't refuse. He pulled her into his embrace and kissed her. I froze on the spot. I wanted to demand why he left back then. What all this was about now. But my throat felt tight and painful, my heart sinking dead weight. From age 12 to now, 14 whole years I had been chasing Lin Yuan. It seemed I had always lived in Lin Yuan's shadow. But what was the point of all this? I sighed. Take me back to the hotel, please. This time, it was my turn to walk away. Life back in Beijing was full and busy. The client from Delhi, Mr. Ling, started pursuing me. To create more opportunities, he brought a lot of investment to our company. Over dinner with him, I frankly admitted, Mr. Ling, thank you for the investments in our company. Because of them, my salary has increased quite a bit. But I really don't have feelings for you. Ling Shu accepted calmly. It's all right, Miss Mu. These days pursuing you have made every day feel full of new hope, and also helped me earn more money. So you don't need to feel guilty. Everyone said Ling Shu and I were a perfect match. Although I hadn't agreed to his pursuit, in my heart, I had already placed him in the suitable person category. My thought was selfish. If by age 28, I still hadn't found the right person, and if Ling Shu still liked me then, I'd be with him, get married, start a family. Ling Shu probably thought the same, but the world never goes according to plan. The police found me the day before my 27th birthday. 2 plainclothes officers came to our company, showed their badges and asked, Are you Miss Mu Xianyu? Everyone at the office thought I'd broken the law. But the moment I saw the police, I had a premonition. Their visit was related to Lin Yuan. The plainclothes officers took me from the company, even though they'd prepared me on the way, saying Lin Yuan had been an undercover informant helping the police and had recently been involved in an accident. When they took me to the hospital morgue and I lifted the white sheet with my own hands to see Lin Yuan lying there, I still couldn't accept it. With trembling hands, I reached the check for breath. Where my fingers touched, it was icy. With a bang, something exploded in my head. My mind went blank, vision blurred, the whole world spinning. I wanted to cry, to scream, but my throat seemed blocked. I couldn't scream, couldn't cry. My heart felt like it was being torn apart. Tears streamed down my face, but I made no sound. I could only struggle like a dying fish. A suffocating breath caught in my chest and I passed out. I lay in a hospital room for a day. When I woke, I didn't cry, didn't make a fuss, didn't speak, ignored everyone. Ling Shu sat by the bed, holding my hand. Xian Yu, please cry. Cry and you'll feel better. I still didn't react. Turns out, when you're heartbroken to the point of despair, you can't even cry. On my second day in the hospital, the police found me. Miss Mu, Lin Yuan left a diary before he died. The contents are about you. Lin Yuan's own words. I remember first seeing her when I was 12. Just moved to Grandma's house. Little her, holding an ice pop, fell right in front of me. Her face a tear-streaked mess, but a single ice pop cheered her up. This girl is easy to please, I thought then. Mom told me to be friends with her, but I didn't want to. Not because I didn't like her, but because I didn't like this place. I didn't understand why my parents sent me here. I overheard our family driver say my parents might be getting divorced, that they didn't want me anymore. If I accepted this girl as a friend, did it mean I accepted my parents might divorce? So I couldn't accept her. Every time she got close, I'd say fiercely, "Stay away from me. I don't like you." But she seemed not to understand. Every day, she'd appear before me, full of energy. She loved to eat, but she shared her milk and eggs with me. Yes, she'd be at the alley entrance every day, giving me her eggs and milk. I was a bit touched. But I was, after all, a kid from the big city who'd seen the world. I couldn't be bought off with just a few eggs and milk. My family did have problems. Not divorce, but bankruptcy. I finally realized my parents sent me to Grandma's because the family company was already in crisis. They hadn't abandoned me. People around me distanced themselves because of the bankruptcy. Even my former classmates in the big city cut ties. I wondered if she'd stop bothering me every day. But why did I feel a bit downcast? Would she stop sticking to me like the others? She didn't. She still stood by me without hesitation. She confronted a teacher for me. That afternoon, the sight of her running towards me in the rain ... I really wanted to hug her. But how could a girl get rained on? She stood up for me. Would the teacher make trouble for her later? I didn't want her targeted like me, so I was harsh to her. I'd started liking her a long time ago. When she brought me milk, when she smiled at me in the rain, every day she waited for me at the alley entrance, every time she defended me. I wanted her by my side always. Once we got into the same university, we could date openly. But her grades still had some distance from mine. What a headache. The first time I got involved with drugs was at 16. My family bankrupt. Parents in a car accident. Father died instantly, mother became vegetative. I needed money. A lot of money. A long time ago, an uncle who did business with my father contacted me. Said he had a new business, could make a lot of money. I wavered. On one side, moral condemnation, the bottom line of the law. On the other, my mother. I couldn't watch her die. So I became one of them. When she showed up at the KTV, I was terrified she'd get pulled into this filthy trade. I suddenly realized, once I'd taken this path, I couldn't keep her by my side anymore. She had to leave me to be safe. She was pure. Shouldn't be associated with someone dirty like me. My vegetative mother needed the money I earned through illegitimate means to survive. But one day she woke up. She knew I'd joined a drug ring to pay for her medical bills. She said I shouldn't have. So she pulled out her 4-tube. In the end, she died before my eyes. That's when I realized I was wrong. I thought about staying away from her life. But in my darkest days, she was like a beam of light, always illuminating me. I was greedy, appearing in her life again and again. She was my salvation, my only lifeline countless times when I was on the brink of death. After she went abroad to study, she came back to find me. She waited outside my apartment from dusk till late night. It was over 10 degrees below zero outside. I wanted so badly to go down and hug her. But I couldn't. I was under suspicion and surveillance by those people then. I couldn't drag her in. She followed me to the bar. No matter how I tried to drive her away, she wouldn't leave. Later, when she was harassed by thugs, I could only notify a police officer I knew. She was so close, yet I couldn't save her myself. In the diary, Lin Yuan in his early 20s recounted his chaotic life with a light, detached tone. My chest aching, I closed the video, biting my hand and crying silently. A policewoman hugged me, patting my back. Cry. Whatever hurts. Whatever feels unfair. Cry it all out. This time, I could finally cry out loud. An older police officer added some details. He told me, when Lin Yuan was 22, he turned himself in and later became our undercover informant. He spent over half a year in rehab to kick the drug addiction. I could quit the drugs, but I couldn't quit her. From the moment I stepped onto this path at 16, she was someone I could never reach in my entire life. Those were Lin Yuan's exact words. I chased Lin Yuan for 15 years. Just as I was about to give up, everyone told me I was the love of his life. Even though his world was in chaos, he still did his utmost to give me a piece of happiness. After I read the diary, the older officer gave me some things. A wedding dress, a wedding ring, and a property deed in my name, all left to me by Lin Yuan. In the years I was focused on studying, going abroad, Lin Yuan was getting clean, becoming a police informant, living in danger every day. Lin Yuan helped the police gather substantial evidence, leading to the takedown of the entire criminal gang. But during the police raid, Lin Yuan was exposed. On a dilapidated small-town street at midnight, he left this world. And at that very moment I was sitting with Ling Shu in a high-end rooftop garden restaurant in Beijing, drinking expensive red wine, overlooking the city's nightscape. He and I had already drifted apart in that summer when we were 16. Back then, cicadas buzzed in the midsummer heat. The boy stood in the sunlight, eyes bright as stars. He said to her, "Mu Xian Yu, you're so silly." Years rushed by. We were already far from 16. On the day of Lin Yuan's burial, I wore the wedding dress he left me, put on his ring, and turned Lin Yuan's funeral into a wedding. I knew Lin Yuan for 15 years, liked him for 15 years. In the 15th year, we could finally be together, even if it was separated by life and death. Lin Yuan, I love you. Lin Yuan, goodbye.